Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Star Wars Galaxy of Yeti here, coming with you with a SkyGuy Unlock. Special thanks to Bobbert for the footage that he's donated to make this video possible, and I hope you guys all enjoy it. All right, now we're in the ship's portion of the actual event, and there's nothing really revolutionary here. He starts off with Rex, Fives, and Anakin, and this beginning where it's 5-on-3 is really brutal. And I think the whole thing you need to try to do here is get to your first reinforcement so you can get in Clone Sarge, because as you watch, you're going to see it's a real game changer when the tankiness of Clone Sergeant comes in. So he's going to try to keep the Umbaran alive a little bit longer. With the taunt here on Rex, and just he's going to put him right under the kibosh essentially. But anyway, this seems to be of the stuff that's coming out of your roster. This is definitely going to be the easiest part for you, especially if this is further down the line and you're looking at having a 7-star negotiator. I think that would be pretty straightforward and easy comparatively. And so you get like these, the Vulture droids just popping out of nowhere and coming back, because there's no actual cap ship that's like deploying them that you can see here. But anyway, they do some big damage. They get Rex out, they get Umbaran out. You got Clone Sergeant in, which is going to be the big saving grace, is this boy can take a beating. That's right. I'm going to blast it. Yep, dodged. And here we go, Anakin finishes him off. There's another. So I think that's 7 or 8 that have come out so far. It's definitely a bit of a pain in the butt. But as I think he uses the target lock there, but it doesn't stick. Get some protection up off of that. Oh no, goes for the basic. That could have gone sideways. All right. Now he's going to go and he's going to bring in a little bit extra. I think he's bringing in extra damage with the. Well, the idea of the Vulture droids here, as he's reading it, is that they're basically supposed to be a swarm of ships that are going to be difficult to escape. And you've got General Grievous's soulless one right there in the middle. And does he bring in Plo first? I think possibly, yeah. Brings Plo in. And I think he goes for the heal on, yeah, the protection up. Yeah, there it is. As you can see, Clone Sergeant is taking some abuse, and it's definitely working. So he's kind of worked through the initial the Vulture droid mess essentially. Yeah, there's not all that much to do there. Clone Sergeant soaking up all this damage pretty easily. He's going to give himself his protection up blast or recovery. Yeah, that's it. And then gives an attack with a Plo. It's like now he's going to bring in Ahsoka and try to finish this out as she hits pretty damn hard. Bing. Let's see, we got some of that. And we're about to close this off here. I think it gets the TM onto Anakin, but not a ton of TM. And then he's going to throw another target lock out. It's like Mace doesn't do a lot of damage anyway. That's the big damage you want right there. Bang! Nice. Alright. And I mean, the ultimate's kind of crap. I think he goes ahead and brings out, yeah, Consular for the call assist. And there you go. Bang, bang. And that's the end of you. Alright, so that's the end of that. All right, we're back with the T2 part of it, and I watched through quite a bit of footage of this, and it seems like it's a really annoying stage with the reviving Magna Guards, and then you have to get through the Magna Guards to get at the Droidicas, and then you have basically the Grievous portion of it after you've gone through that, and of course you need to get rid of B2 because B2 is going to screw up the mechanics of Padme. So it's definitely something that wasn't working very well for him as he was going. There was a point where he had to go and he added some relic levels to General Kenobi and brought him up to relic level 5. And once he brought him up to relic level 5, Kenobi started staying alive. So it suddenly became quite a bit tankier team, and it looks like essentially he was able to get through it in about I think it was like 4 or 5 attempts after the getting Kenobi to relic level 5. Keep in mind his Ahsoka is relic level 7, his Padme is relic level 7, and he doesn't have a relic on his C-3PO, but it's G13, and his Shaak Ti, I believe, is relic level 1. There is confirmation of the relic levels at the end of the video that shows it shows of his ship's pilots and the Galactic Republic and Seps portions of his roster. So you'll be able to have a better look at that. I decided to leave the modding out for the most part because of how much he's shifted mods. It was really confusing trying to remember which character had which mod set and such. But anyway, as you can see here, this one's going fairly as well as it can be. He's got one of the Magna Guards out. He's got one of the Droidicas out. And so now he's going to be able to go ahead and get at the other Droidica. And he gives it to Ahsoka here. It's one of those, as we can kind of watch through the thing. I wasn't trying to do a play-by-play. I just don't really think that's the best way to handle this video. I don't have any music in the background, which is a sad state of affairs, but I figured it would be distracting away from what it is, and I couldn't isolate his vocals from the game volume so we don't get any of the game sounds. So my apologies on that. But anyway, he's got both Droidicas out. This is definitely a kind of like a yay kind of situation. He just needs to get through the last 3, and then he can be going after General Grievous. As you can see, Kenobi's still on his feet. C-3PO is still alive as well. It's kind of, after watching all of the attempts, it's kind of a miracle. And I think there's a couple of points here where I think it's just mental fatigue. He puts the buff on he put the right one this time, but there was a point in, I don't know, a bunch of the attempts where like the buff immunity or whatever caused some issues. Just basically it's just like one of those where you just kind of just brain fart, really. But anyway, he gets through the B2. Magna's now down. Just got the B1 and Grievous left. And I like I said, I was watching all of the footage, all of the failures and attempts on the way up to this, and even I felt like a rush in my chest when it got down to this point. It's like, come on, you can do it. But anyway, here now, once you get it down to Grievous, it's fairly straightforward. There's a little bit of Grievous boss mechanic, like raid boss style mechanics going on, where he's added the enrage function and you're just on healing immunity. But when it's 5-on-1, it shouldn't last too long, and it doesn't in this case. Pop. There we go. He gets his protection up. Get him some translation stacks. There's only one on Ahsoka, but I believe he puts it on Shaak Ti here. Yeah. I'm gonna call on the. He puts it on Kenobi here for the crit immunity. There it is. And then we get the Kenobi's group hug. Yeah, getting down to the end of it. It's almost there. And there. So now we find ourselves in T3. This is just a solo duel of General Skywalker that they give you versus Asajj Ventress. And Ventress is, level 90 and probably R7 or whatever, but it's just pretty straightforward. It's one of those, we're going to teach you how to use your character kind of levels. You can see you got Force Grip, and he goes, that's the one that applies daze, and it critically hits enemies with Armor Shred. And then, of course, it links to your Sundering Strike. And then you got your Sundering Strike, which once again will reset the cooldown on Force Grip. So, yeah, it's sort of like an interesting kit that he's got here. This one, I think, it applies the Armor Shred, and then, yeah, that one's the Daze. So he's going to start off with, well, then there's the basic. And, yeah. And then there's the telekinesis add-on, which is, add some cooldowns for his abilities and such. Anyway, here's his basic. Get the Force Grip, apply the Daze, and even with the Armor Shred and Daze, she just goes and goes and goes, and then here comes your counterattacks. I think here he goes with the Sundering Strike on the next one, if I remember right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the choices. And then the Fury Slash. This one does critically hits enemies with Armor Strike, so he goes for that. And then there's the the Telekinesis Blast for 20,000, and now he's going to use the Sundering Strike, I believe. Might as well use them all. No, goes Force again, puts that Daze on. She does a heal, counterattacks there, then bang. So that's the end of Asajj Ventress there. It's like, oh look, it's the general. Blah blah blah. Here we go. This stage is the easily the most difficult. Most that he struggled on. I think he had switched mods so many times that it was just dizzying. He tried all different kinds of loadouts on the different characters, mostly Magna and B1. I think at one point B1 had like 330 speed. It was pretty incredible. Yep. But I think his Darth Karen mod set ended up on Asajj Ventress and kind of stayed there for the potency, as well as all the speed. And I'm fairly certain that Magna ended up with his Darth Malak speed and health set, or with all the protection, I think. Not 100% sure. Like I said, it changed so very much that it was pretty difficult. Anyway, this round is basically what it would look like in some sort of arena setting against the 501st. You got to knock Skywalker's protection down, and then after that, you got to do your best to try to kill the clones around him before he stands back up and ruins your afternoon. So in this one, he's got he gets 5s down relatively quickly. He used the blast from Droideka to get that second retreat to cover for Anakin. Then he gets ARC Trooper out, which is a good move. And now you got to worry about the Rexecute. So he goes and he puts the target lock on there. Bang, Rex is gone. And so this has gone really well. He managed to get 3 clones down in one cover. So now he's got to work his way through Anakin's protections again. And it's definitely going to be a bit unlayan. There goes his Magna Guard. Usually when Magna goes in all of the attempts that I was watching before, and I mean there was a lot of attempts, it can really, it's kind of game over, but at this point he's got most of the clones down, so it's looking good. So I think this is the first time I saw him get Skywalker down to just himself, and I think it took some RNG to get here, so he's going to keep just throwing those heals onto B2, trying to keep B2 alive, and hopefully get as much of the stacks as he can on Droideka, so Droideka can drop the SkyGuy. See here, more heals for B2. Here it comes. Droideka's almost ready. It's almost ready. And there it is. All right, guys, I wanted to show his ship inventory right here. As you can see, he's got relic level 1 on the clones, as you're going to see in a second. There's 12 plus 5 on Plo and Mace, and then Jedi Consular is a flat 12. Going to get into his Galactic Republic, and you can see all of the people that he used here. You got 7, 7, and 7 on the and 5 on Kenobi, and then 1 on Shaak Ti. And then, sadly, the Jedi Anakin doesn't get used anywhere, because that 7 would have been really handy, other than just the pilot, right? Oh, look at Cup down there. He needs some love. Oh, poor Cuppy. Anyway, we're going to get into the Separatist now, as you can kind of get an idea of that. I didn't want to show the mods so much, as they've been moved around so much. I wouldn't really be able to follow it too. Then we got B1 at 7, B2 at 5, Asajj at 5, Magar at 5, Droideka at 3. I think 3s across the board is going to really struggle to get through. If you can get through using just 3s, congratulations, you're a better man. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe and pay attention to what I've got coming up next. And as always, have a good one.